Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon, and today I'm going to be talking about how I win, or at least how I don't lose every lane phase. So pretty much what I'm trying to show you guys here is how I can consistently be even or ahead in nearly every matchup, despite different circumstances. And so what we're going to do is we're going to show you the first 5 games of my stream yesterday. I purposefully just chose the first 5 in succession to show you guys that this is obviously me playing over the course of a couple hours, just straight every single lane phase, rather than me cherry picking, you know, specific games. And I don't win every single lane. There is a lane that I do lose, and I will be showing you guys that one as well. Again, because I'm purposely trying to show you guys sort of what the average lane phase looks like. But getting into it, again, we're going to be going over 5 lane phases, so it's going to be a relatively long video. I want to talk mainly about understanding your matchup. So here, for example, I'm in a winning matchup. We're going to talk about playing winning matchups, losing matchups, that type of thing. So I'm in a winning matchup that I also outscale. So this is like the best case scenario where you have both a good early game and you also do well later on in the game, like I do into Sion. And when this is the case, usually what you're going to want to do is build up a slow push like I'm doing here. So you want to push the wave first. You want to be on the wave first like I was. That way you can get the wave pushing into him, but you don't want to hit it too quickly. You can see here, I'm not really trading with him that hard. Why am I not trading with him that hard? Because I don't have a strong early game jungler. Fiddlestick's not very good early. And again, I win the lane from just outscaling. So even if you're losing early, but you win the late game, if they let you get on the wave and do what I'm doing here, this is ideal, because now all I have to do, you can see I literally sit here. I don't want to trade with him. He's a really tanky champion. He does actually win early trades with me. I'm not able to really hard win trades with him, and he's tankier, and he has better gank setup. So generally, when it comes to playing around jungle, I don't really like this matchup early on in the game. Whereas again, I outscale later and I don't really have to do much. So you can see it's very, very simple. All I'm doing, and again, this is one of the reasons I don't lose a lot of matchups, is because I don't overforce. So the first real, big thing to understand, or the first 2 big things to understand, would be that in a matchup that you outscale, if possible, you want to build up a slow push by being first on the wave and then only last hitting and keeping your minions slightly higher health than their minions. That way it slowly pushes you, build up a big wave as you see here. And then again, not over forcing in matchups that you outscale, because again, the only way that I can really be behind and lose this matchup is if I lose early. If I don't lose early, it's extremely simple to win. So you have to understand the specific spikes that your champion has in lane. And so again, I build up that big wave, I crash it, and then I just get a free recall off, as we can see here. I get to buy my item, and everything is super good. And we know that the jungler is now pathing away from us because they went from their red to their blue. Ganked us a little before 2:30, which means they're going to go back to their red side and not be back here until around 3:45. So now I do have a little window where if I want, I can trade with them, but I don't have to. And so again, because I was able to build up that wave and crash, he has to recall later than me, which means I have the advantage now at this point because I get to be on the wave first. I can freeze on him, deny him some gold. And in this case, you're going to see something weird where he ends up rotating towards mid lane, I believe, right now. And so then I realize that, and I just decide to push. Of course, this is a unique scenario, but you can see I have a 300 gold lead on him anyways, just from all of those little slow pushes, because I deny him a few minions and whatnot. And once again, I'm building up another slow push because again, my minions are just stacking bigger than his. And so if he does decide to rotate, as we see mid lane, I can build a giant wave and then I can easily get multiple turret plates. So obviously, the average person is not going to give you these free plates, but this is a Grandmaster lobby. This is a thing that does happen in games. People randomly rotate. And if you're building up a big slow push, then you can deny this, or you can do what I'm doing, which is, crash the wave and get a bunch of gold. Basically, it's the best of both worlds, because if I build up the slow push and then he doesn't come right away, then I can freeze on him for a little bit, deny him some gold, and build up a little bit of an advantage. And then if he ever does rotate, I just crash the wave like we saw there. And it's very, very simple. And if you're wondering about terminology, I have a full wave management guide on my channel. If you're confused of like when I say crash or slow push or these types of things, just look up Town WR wave management guide and you'll be a little less confused if these things don't make sense to you. So that's just another thing. And then again, here you can see at this point, I'm just trying to squeeze out plates because I know the turret's very low. So again, the main things that I do in these types of winning matchups, or even just losing matchups that I outscale, is I do my best to get on the wave first so that I can build up a slow push when possible. And then with that slow push, I usually crash around my boots power spike so that I can recall, grab my boots. And then again, I just use the fact that I'm building up slow pushes to essentially crash the wave on him whenever he makes a mistake. And again, either recall, push turret plates, do that type of thing. And because I have the slow push, I also have a gold lead most of the time. And I have a item or a level lead, right? So because I have a level lead, I can often trade more aggressively as well. And then again here, we just know that he's being kind of silly and he recalled at a bad time, so we're able to get a free plate here. I don't even care if I do die to Kha'Zix, or a free turret, not a free plate. But in this case, I think I'm able to Q flash out. And I do end up living, but yeah, like, I didn't care if I died. Mostly concerned with the plate, or with the turret. And I have TP, so I'd be able to get back at a somewhat reasonable time, which is, again, kind of the value of TP here. I recall, and then I'm able to TP back. So we do lose a little bit, but jungle intervention sometimes will make these types of things happen. I don't mind. We're able to kill the Sion. And from there, we're able to win the lane phase. So that's first lane phase. Now let's get into the second one. Okay, now going into this lane phase, I do quickly want to mention that I acknowledge that I play strong early game laners. And again, this video is titled How I Win Most of My Lane Phases, or something along those lines. I actually don't know exactly what I'll title it. But one of the reasons is because I play strong early game laners. And so I am acknowledging that. I don't want people to think I'm telling you that I can win every lane if I'm playing, like, I don't know, some bad early game, Kayle, you know. I'm not going to win every early game if I'm playing Kayle. That's just part of the game. Anyways, going on into this lane. So here we have a very winning matchup, and a matchup that I want to trade harder into, because if we look at this type of matchup, I generally get outscaled against most tanks as Jayce, and so you really actually have to get some type of lead. So compared to the previous lane, you can see I'm trying to poke a lot harder. Of course, having the range advantage matters a lot more as well here, but in this case, I'm building up the same slow push that you saw before, because again, I'm in an advantageous matchup. And so I'm on the way first, I'm hitting it first and whatnot, and then I'm trading a lot more aggressively here. So you can just see simple situations where I'm totally fine with taking a little bit of damage if it means I get damage on him as well. You can see just the constant poke. Anytime he walks up for a last hit, anytime he tries to trade, I will make sure to get as much health from him as possible. And again, you see how I have this giant wave. You can see pretty much every situation I'm in, I have some type of giant wave built up at some point crashing under their tower. And this is going to be the consistent thing that you see me doing, and that you guys should be trying to do yourself. But once again, I am not too greedy in these lanes. Despite winning the early game, despite trading well, my jungle's pathing away from me, I'm low mana, and I have my boots, so I recall. A lot of people, again, they would try to get some type of insanely huge lead out of that, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to squeeze these small advantages so that I have another advantage when I come back. So for example here, he still hasn't recalled yet. I have boots, he doesn't, and I have a gold lead because he was losing minions because I was trading with him and making him lose minions because he was too scared to walk up. And so now I get back to the lane with my boots. He's lower health than me, and I'm in a huge advantage. Whereas again, if I stayed, I would have had no mana, I would be super gankable, etc. And instead, we're able to trade with him insanely hard here, get him 1 HP, which allows for us to get multiple plates. So again, even though I don't kill him here, I'm winning the game through just winning small advantages, right? Again, here, the small advantage I get is I get a big trade with him, ignite to make him run away, and I get 2 turret plates. He does have TP here, so he doesn't lose as much, right? If you didn't have TP, you'd lose even more, but he still loses a lot. And so once again, I take another recall here. I'm not trying to get some crazy leads out of everything, just small advantages, and they add up to absurd gold leads. I'm already up quite a bit of gold. I can't see because I clicked the thing too fast, but he's like 1600. I think I'm 2500, something like that. We're up, 800-900 gold probably at this point. And even if I was only up 300, I'd be totally happy with that. You don't have to be up 1,000,000 gold again. And at this point now, we do know Fiora is likely pathing towards us due to the fact that she started on the blue side. And again, if she started blue side, she'd go to a red side, and then she wouldn't come back to blue until around 230, and won't go back to red till around 345, because that's just how jungle pathing works. Now here we space him really well, and so this is another kind of concept to understand that I follow really well, and that's understanding enemy abilities. So if we go back on this again, I know that I can win a trade with him, so I'm going to trade with him pretty hard. But then what is he going to do in response? He's probably going to try to taunt me. And so as soon as I jump on him, notice how I immediately jump back. You see how I instantly jump back after I jump on him? Because I know how is he going to respond? He's probably going to respond trying to jump on me with his taunt. And so because we understand the abilities the enemy are going to use, we're able to get a huge trade there. And once again, deny him a bunch of gold, crash a huge wave. You can see once again, just like over and over, building up a wave, building up a slow push, trading when that slow push is getting built up, trading around level advantages, trading when I have the item advantages, which again, we're eking out these small item advantages, and I'm up over 1,500 gold on this guy at this point, and I have not killed once. These are very common things that I'm able to do with champions like Jayce, champions like Fiora, because they are strong early game. They can build up these big waves, and then you can crash something like that. He ends up ulting, but I get the entire first turret. So once again, you've seen I got first turret in this game, I got first turret in the Fiora game against Sion, which I think we've only gone over 2 games. So yeah, first turret, you can see in back-to-back games, and again, it's not like I had jungle help this game. My jungle didn't gank me once. The other game, you know, I think I got ganked by Kha'Zix. So it's not even like I'm getting a bunch of jungle help here. And yet, again, 2,000 gold lead, turrets, everything like that, mostly due to the fact that we're building up these slow pushes. We're taking these recalls on our key timers, like our boots, and then just slowly building up the waves and then getting whatever we can out of them. We're going to probably skip through this because at this point, there's not too much interesting, but since I have taken the turret so early, basically what I do, and my team's 1-6, I'm going to go take Vladimir's gold. I go mid lane, I take the gold, and then if I can be mid, I will stay mid, because I'm just, again, trying to push my lead elsewhere now that I've taken the turret. So you can see I sit in mid here. I guess I actually got the kill. I didn't even notice that. But again, I try to take over the mid lane because I know this is where I can, you know, kind of push my advantage further. We end up killing the Ahri there, and then now we get, you know, multiple turret plates. We run away. So again, you do everything I talked about in terms of building up the slow push, recalling on those key timers, just getting those good wave crashes on those really big waves, and then either, you know, diving if you can, or of course just recalling, keeping track of jungle, making your decisions based around jungle, and then once you do get that turret, you can rotate towards the mid lane as long as your bot lane's pushed. Of course, if they ended up pushing my lane back, I would have to go respond, but since they didn't push it, I was able to go mid and get some type of advantage there. So that's the second lane phase. Now let's go into the third one. Okay, so now going into the third one, this is against a Pantheon, and you're going to see here, again, my decision making is not as good in this one, and this I will spoil is the lane that I lose. We're kind of going to talk about what to do after losing and why I lost this lane as well. But if we go into it initially, again, my thought process here is, honestly, I don't know how much I win this. I haven't played this matchup in a while, and Pantheon recently got an armor buff, and so my thought is I want to see how the trades work, and so I'm going to kind of go into it pretty aggressively and trying to figure it out. So when a champion gets buffed, or when you don't know how to play a champion well, and you want to see how your trades go, it is important to sometimes even sacrifice, and I'm not trying to act like I just like lost this lane on purpose, that's not what happened, but it is important to understand the matchups and to test them when you don't know. So like, again, armor buff, Pantheon, I'm not super sure, can I trade with him, that type of thing, and so I want to kind of try and see how it goes. And so in this situation, I actually get an advantageous trade. If you look at it, he ignited me, I still have my ignite, and I'm going to be higher health than him overall because, again, I have ignite, so I'm technically higher health. Now the issue here is I get too focused on trying to look for my Q flash ignite without thinking about the fact that I have, you know, I'm in lethal range of him. So imagine here in this situation, I win this trade. Again, this is a very winning trade. Why is it a winning trade? Because he traded with me in minions, so he loses the minion damage, and he continues to trade back with me after he uses all his spells, so I win the trade. But again, I don't go and get my fruit. If I just go and get the fruit here, I'm going to have the overall health advantage, but instead I let him get the advantage through that ignite, and then he's able to find the all-in, and so I die. Again, just very silly of me. Again, overall, main things to take away from this is if you don't know how matchup works, you should test it. You should try to go pretty aggro in it. But obviously here, I just was pretty silly, lacked patience, and I didn't go for the fruit and just play for the, again, the small lead, which would have been that small health lead. Instead, I tried to go for the kill because I was looking for the Q flash ignite, trying to get the kill on him, and again, being greedy. And so you can see, even though I talked about in the last two lanes how I wasn't greedy, you can see, you know, realistically, everyone's going to have some dumb, greedy moments, and in this case, it kind of bit me in the butt pretty hard. Anyways, what are we going to do now that we fell behind like this to an early game champion? Well, the first thing I want you to notice is that I still have a big wave built up here. Because I have a big wave, I can actually trade on this wave to some extent. And what I can do with this wave is just use it to push the wave. Because I'm no longer actually concerned with killing him. I expect to die more. What I'm trying to do is make sure that every time that and here I'm trading because my jungle is, you know, here as well. But every time that he trades with me, I want to make sure I at least get the wave out of it. That way, I don't lose too much. And then, again, I become worth less gold. The more I die, the less gold I'm worth, the less it's valuable to kill me. You're going to see I end up going to build Hullbreaker this game, and I'm just focused on getting the wave, as you can see here. Even if he ends up trading with me and killing me, since so much of the wave is already dead, my death timer is not long enough for it to matter. And you can see it's only 12 seconds. By the time he pushes this wave, I'm already respawning, I'm back, and I get everything. And all I lost to him from that was an additional 200 gold that he got from killing me, which again isn't as valuable as the fact that I'm going to be less, I'm going to be worth less gold in the future, and so I can use this to then proxy, as we're going to see in a second. So you can see again, I'm going for Hullbreaker. I realize, okay, this is a bad early lane, I messed up. So from this point onwards, I just need to push the lane out and then get some type of advantage elsewhere, right? So what I do, again, I push the lane as soon as he is recalling, as soon as he's doing something. I then look to proxy, and I'm pretty much trying to waste jungle's time, get the wave, and make him kind of choose between the wave and me. So again, here, what do? I don't care that Kane's here. All I need to do is get this wave, because then if I do die, I'm actually not going to lose that much. And so again, I'm going to waste Kane's time as well. I'm going to bring him to me, and you're going to see I actually nearly kill him, but their mid laner came. If their mid laner didn't come, I genuinely would have killed this, which is pretty funny. As we can see here, 1 HP, couldn't flash onto him because of Morgana, but that's fine, because again, we got the wave, we wasted their time, so it gave Echo even an opportunity to roam since Morgana, was there. And so from all of this, we waste jungle's time. We end up getting all of the waves so that Pantheon can't get turret plates. So again, notice how when I was winning my lanes and my trades, I ended up getting a bunch of plates. Pantheon's gotten almost no plates out of this situation until right now. Obviously, he gets a couple, but like, again, not that bad compared to what it could have been. And so I'm still down 1,000 gold, but again, I'm just trying to get Hull Breaker, push turrets, and waste the enemy time, and I don't really care about much else. So again, here you're going to see, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to focus on the wave. I can die, I can lose trades. If this wave dies, that's good enough for me. Now, I'm not going to just force for absolutely no reason, but I'm going to wait for my cooldowns to come up and whatever, but when I can, I'm going to get a little poke on him, get the wave, and then again look to proxy. So you can see here, this is when I go to trade. I know I'm not going to get one shot on a trade. I actually win the trade against him, as you can see here, and then we end up going for the wave once again. So because we're able to continue to cut off these waves, he ends up getting trapped under his turret, low health, since we were able to win that trade on him, and now he has to chase me down. But if he chases me, he loses the turret, or the wave under his turret, so he ends up going back under his turret, and then luckily our jungler is here. But it's not like I had more jungle help than him, right? Like, his jungler ganked me, a minute or two ago. My jungle ganks once, and yet I'm still able to get this advantage. And now at this point, I'm almost even gold with him. I think I'm like 3,900 and he's 4,100. So I'm 1 in 3, died a bunch, and yet I have his turret lower than mine. I didn't lose out on much at all. And yeah, I'm actually 4,300 gold. He's 4,150. So I'm up 200 gold now at this point. Again, the main things we did after we messed up that early game, which was entirely my fault, we ended up focusing on the wave rather than kills. It didn't matter if I died, it didn't matter whatever, as long as I got the wave, as long as I cut off the wave, again, from proxying, which just basically means killing it in between their tier 2 and tier 3 tower. And then again, using that to just get some type of lead. And then notice how out of base, I end up going straight to the mid. Unfortunately, I missed my Q flash. If I hit him, he would have died. But I go straight to the mid lane because, again, top's not yet being pushed. There's a mid lane wave under our turret, and I'm just focused on these waves, focused on these turrets. Pantheon ends up making a dumb rotation. I'm able to get a kill on Morgana in mid lane, and now everything is just completely turned around. And the end of this game, I ended up being MVP with over 1,000 gold per minute, despite, again, literally getting first blooded insanely early. And again, even here, I'm valuing the turret. I don't care about dying. I'm literally just Hull Breaker, push, and I am able to get a bunch of gold, and again, almost 1k gold per minute already, and was able to carry the game due to this. So again, now let's get into the next laning phase. Okay, so now we're playing Jayce into Gnar, and so once again, this is going to be a relatively decent matchup for Jayce. As I said, I do pick champions that are generally strong early game and have a lot of good matchups, so that I can get these leads and kind of snowball them. And with that in mind, into this type of matchup, once again, you're going to see I'm going to want to be first on the wave. I want to poke him out and get some trading. In this case as well, why do I want to trade even more? Because my jungler is pathing towards me, and my jungler is a good ganker early in the Amumu. So if I get an even trade, I'm happy with that. It's a winning trade in my eyes to get an even trade because of the fact that, again, my jungle is pathing towards me and is good at ganking in the early game. So we end up trading a lot with him, trying to get as much poke as possible, kind of spamming our abilities. And once again, notice the wave, right? If we look at the wave here, I have him, he has 5 minions total. If we look at the back minions, I have 6. And again, I have, basically, again, 1 entire extra minion compared to him. But I'm not going to over push. I'm going to wait till the minion gets pretty low. As you can see, I'm waiting till it gets, nearly just one hittable. And then once again, we just kind of wait. We hit the minion wave a little bit, mostly to charge up some mana as Jayce, because Jayce is, well, actually, I didn't even have my mana thing yet, so I lied about that, because I didn't have the W passive. So I just lied for fun on the internet. Sometimes I do that. But that was my thought process, but sometimes I forget that it's a W passive. Either way, we're again just building up this slow push, waiting for our jungle to be in some type of situation to dive us or, help us out in some way. And again, just getting that little bit of poke on him. So at this point, I have, 9 minions, 8 minions, something like that, and he only has 4. And so the longer and longer that he can't get any of these minions, the bigger advantage I get in terms of level, which again gives me more stats. It makes it better to trade with him. So he can't walk up. He's completely screwed over here. I have another minion wave coming, and now if he ever does try to walk up, I'll trade with him, and this is the point where now I can crash the wave. So I end up going on to the, minions, trading pretty hard with him there, and then now he's going to be level 4 to my, or level 3 to my level 5. And so I can literally just walk at him, stare at him menacingly, wait for my cooldowns to come up, and then one-shot him under tower. Now I don't flash here, and so I die. I was greeting my flash, but I still kill him and crash a wave. So even though we go 1 for 1, obviously I got first blood, and that's an additional 150 gold. And then I also made him lose a bunch of minions under his turret. So it's still an extremely valuable play for me, even though, again, it could have been better if I flashed and didn't die. Now Mumu's being a menace, chasing the Echo into his spawn. He does kill him, and then he dies afterwards. Goes to Veigar, I believe. Yeah, Veigar gets a double kill, so definitely not ideal. But once again, you can see how we were able to build up that slow push and use that concept of building up a slow push and then crashing it to get some type of advantage. And again, no jungle intervention was needed. Obviously, I was doing it more aggressively because my jungle was there, but he didn't even end up being the one to help. I just ended up solo killing the guy because of how high level I was. And now at this point, we just use our item lead to completely destroy him. Nothing too complicated here. He's 1 HP because of all of the trades that we got on him. And so we're just slowly poking him out, playing for that lead, and again, not being too aggressive. We know he has the mega, so we have to be slightly scared, but we do want to make sure we just poke out the turret as hard as we can, focusing on getting plates. And so this is another situation where you see me not actually getting a lot of kills. I mean, I went 1 for 1 here, but getting giant gold leads. And at this point, I know that I'm strong enough that I can fight that Echo if he comes to me, because again, Gnar is 1 HP. I have really good items. I have my flash up, and so at this point, we do just focus on mostly having permanent prio, pushing, and then again diving Gnar if it's at all possible, because we have the wave advantage and we just have the poke advantage, everything like that. So at this point, you can see again, he's just too scared to even walk up. He then ends up walking up and he just dies for it. And nothing too complicated. Again, you can see all the same concepts applying, and here we see Veigar, so we leave. But you can see all the same concepts being used, and in this game, it ends up working out really, really smoothly compared to some of the other games. And pretty much every lane, again, I have huge gold leads. 1,000 plus here, 1,500. You saw against the Shen, nearly 2,000. Against the Sion, we had nearly a 1,000 gold lead. And even against the Pantheon at the end of the lane phase, we're even gold, or even up 200, I think, despite getting solo killed right away. So these consistent concepts apply where I get a kill, my kill is super valuable because I crash a big wave. I get turret plates out of it, all that. They get a kill on me. Oftentimes, the wave is pushing under their turret. So all they get is that 300 gold, that 200 gold, however much I was worth at that time. So because I get so much more value than them out of these kills due to the fact that I'm properly managing my wave, I'm able to almost always have gold leads even when I don't have kill leads. And at this point, my jungle's here to help a bit, and we're just in a really good spot overall. Unfortunately, I do miss, and I do hit him. But yeah, this Veigar does kind of become a problem later on in the game. As you can see, he's pretty damn strong, and my teammate just goes and dies into him. So at this point, he does flash. We end up getting the Gnar, and I think we kill Echo as well, as you can see there. Kind of messed up my third ability, but it still works out. We end up getting a couple kills on them. And again, because I have the lane priority, I'm able to really easily help out as well. So not only is it useful for getting lane leads and whatnot, but it also is useful for helping out when people are fighting, because you have the lane priority, so you have the level advantage, you have the ability to rotate and help them. And then once again, I get first turret. So I think this is 3 of 4 games I've gotten first turret, maybe it's 2 of 4, I forget, but first turret in a majority of these games, or at least half of them. And because of that, we're just able to have insanely huge gold leads, and then once again, just be really strong in order to help our team in the fights. And now we're going to go into the final lane phase. And so last up, we have a Fiora game. I forget who I'm laning against here. We will find out in a second. It is Jayce. And so yeah, this is actually a really good example here of a different type of lane phase than the ones you saw here. So in a lot of the lanes, I'm winning. I have pressure early. You're going to see here, we're going to lose the trades initially. We'll talk first about why we ended up losing these trades, and then we'll talk about you know, what to do from that point. So you can see here initially, what I actually do, I want to talk about this real quick. So I end up dragging the wave, which this ends up making their minions die first. So notice how when I go to this wave like this, I drag it to make these 2 minions target the same minion of mine, which will make my minion die first. So you can see there, what I ended up doing is I tried dragging them so they both target the same minion. I don't remember if it actually worked here. It did work here, yeah. So you can see here, I end up making both of their minions get targeted by the same person. And so all 4 of the enemy minions are targeting my 1 minion. Meanwhile, my 3 minions, these 3 are targeting this one. Meanwhile, this one's targeting this one. And what this does is it means that my wave will die slightly quicker. So he has to walk up to last hit first, which means I get to trade with him first. And so this is a very common thing as well you can do that I didn't mention. Unfortunately here, the reason this trade isn't as good is because of where vitals are, so I can't trade with him. If the vitals were in a better spot, then he'd be screwed over because he'd have to walk up and I'd get a vital, but because his vital spawned on his back, I'm not able to trade super hard with him, and so we don't end up really getting a big lead out of this. And then my main mistake here is just not walking back and, you know, trading on a better vital. And so because of that, or waiting for a better vital. Because of that, he's able to get the prio, he's able to get the lane advantage, and so he wins the trades, again, because of my, you know, misprioritization of the vitals. And now that we're in a situation where we're losing the lane early, we don't have really an advantageous situation, we can't walk up, what I end up doing is I just let him over push. And so you can see the mistake he made compared to what I do when I have the lead. If you did what I did, or he did what I normally do, he would have very slowly pushed this, built up a giant wave, and then dove me with his jungler, or even dove without his jungler. But you can see here, he pushes really fast. And because he's pushing so fast, I just let him keep pushing, you know? Like, it's going to come under my turret, and there's going to be no problem. In this situation, I'm just going to easily, again, nothing bad's going to happen. And so you can see, like, the mistake that I made, if I'm playing against, you know, Lamont, for example, a really good player, if you don't know who he is, he's going to punish me for that one mistake, and there's going to be no coming back from it. Like the mistake with trading. But most players don't punish you. Again, this is a Grandmaster. He doesn't punish me for it. And then why do I trade here? So oftentimes when the enemy do push like this, you end up getting the wave in this exact position. And this is an extremely important situation to understand. So these two minions, this cannon and this caster minion, will get stuck right here if you're able to properly freeze on the enemy. And then this is going to allow you to build up a slow push. So if you get pushed under your turret, and you find yourself in this situation where he has a big wave under the turret, but he can't quite get it under, this is exactly what you're going to want to do here. So I want to make it very clear. These minions, if you look at all the minions, these 5 minions will get you level 4. And so if I'm able to kill these 5 minions before he can kill my 2, I can end up having a big lead and trading with him on a level advantage. And I can do this because my wave's under my turret, and he's a melee champion, he can't get to that. To those minions. So I trade aggressively here to make sure that we're both low, so that when I'm hitting level 4, I have a kill angle because I know I'm going to hit level 4 before him. And so that's why I ended up trading aggressively here. And then because I know I'm going to get level 4 first, you can see how I start hitting more aggressively after I grab the fruit. You're going to see I start pushing the wave more quickly. That way I can get level 4 first before him. And because I'm able to get level 4 first, I'm able to trade more aggressively with him. And then even though he has the advantage, and if I hit my stun there, I would have literally killed him or made him flash, by the way. But because I have the level lead, again, I'm able to trade and win those trades despite having much lower health initially. So you can see how important level leads are. And then because of that, I'm able to crash the wave and kind of get out of a bad situation. Now, I got greedy here. If I didn't get greedy because he has TP, I would have been fine. I could have just recalled and TP'd back. I got greedy, and so I ended up not being in as good of a position as I could have been. But even then, again, you can see it was a negative overall situation, and we ended up getting out of it because he overpushed into us. We played around that level 4 timer, and now I'm roughly even gold. I think I'm down maybe 50, 100 gold. Again, in a situation where I made an early mistake on the trade because of my lack of you know, vital usage properly. And he's used his TP as well, and I haven't used TP, so I also have the TP advantage right now, which means if I get ganked or something bad happens, I can TP back. And that's exactly what you're going to see here. The enemy jungle is right here as I try to ward, and so I have to flash, but I have TP. And now if we look at the situation, Vi, I think I'm about to scroll over to Vi, whatever. We know Vi, yeah, so we see here, Vi only has her blue buff. And since she only has her blue buff at 244, we know she started red side, and that one expired first, but her blue is still up. And so since her blue buff is still up, she's going to go back to red side, because that's where she started. And if you started somewhere, you're going to go back to that side around 230. So I know his camps are already spawning on red side, as there's no chance he's going to stay and continue to gank me unless he's an absolute lunatic and a psychopath, as we can see he is here. But we have that ward, and so we know that when he recalls, he's going to go back to red side. And now I'm perfectly fine. And once again, this guy is building up a slow push, but he's pushing it too fast. Once again, he's trying to push super, super fast. And because of that, I'm not going to get punished for the fact that he's in an advantageous situation compared to me. And so this is multiple times now that you saw this guy over push rather than properly utilize slow pushing, and I just allow him to push into me. And why can I let him push into me? Because I know his jungler's never going to be here, because again, what we spoke about with him going back to his red side since he had not yet cleared it. And so if his jungler did come back here, he would be completely screwing over his bot lane, and it would be a relatively negative position. Shout out to my bot lane this game, by the way. They smurfed that game and got first turret as a Vayne Zillion in those matchups, so shout out to them. But once again, you see here now nothing is bad. Like, I am even gold with this Jax, even level now, because again, he crashed the wave on my turret without properly freezing, so he didn't really have a level advantage. He didn't have the pressure to kill me, and he also didn't trade aggressively with me at all, which meant that every time he was crashing a wave under my turret, I was full health, therefore not diveable. Whereas again, if he was trading with me, making us both even health, making sure he builds up a bigger wave, rather than, again, crashing the wave too quickly, he would have been in a much better situation, and we just let him push into me here. And because of that, now I have the potential all-in angle, and you see I find it here in a second with my vital proccing. We're able to properly proc all the vitals, and we get that solo kill. So basically, what allowed for us to win this lane, and again, now you're going to see I'm going to have some plates, and so I'm going to have a pretty big gold lead on him. Or I think I get plates, I don't actually remember. Yeah, I get a couple plates. And so basically what allowed us to win this lane, again, was jungle tracking. As I said, again, I knew when the jungle was going to be here, or when he was not going to be here, you know, when the guy was crashing the wave. Jax over pushing into me led to me not being in as bad of a situation as well, and then me just letting him over push rather than trying to trade when he has level advantage. And then again, utilizing that specific freeze I had under my turret where he ended up being level 3 to my level 4, and using that trade to kind of get out of a not great situation. So all of those things led to me, again, being in a fine enough spot. Now at this point, I'm just trying to get Trinity, so I end up trying to get this. But I kind of can't recall for Trinity. I just have to help my team out instead, which is fine, because my team already killed their jungler. And so I basically just decided to keep pushing. We get the first turret, and everything's really good from this lane phase. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys, was just the first 5 lane phases of my stream yesterday. Show you guys how I consistently get leads, consistently get turrets. And in every single game, I came out of the lane phase ahead, except for the Pantheon one where I was even. And again, that was one where I made plenty of mistakes, and you can just see how we're consistently able to get leads. Sometimes our jungle helps, but often our jungle doesn't. My jungle didn't gank me once this game. Vi ganked me. Kha'Zix ganked me more in the Sion game versus when I was Fiora versus Sion. I don't even know if a Mumu ganked me maybe more than in the Gnar Jayce matchup. But overall, again, not that much jungle help, and still able to get these consistent leads. So I hope that it was useful for you guys in some way. If you like the video, like and subscribe, that type of thing. Let me know if you like this type of format, and I'll see you guys in the next one.